Hey fast fellas, SpeeDMan here. Welcome to today's episode of Let's Play Civilization 6 Sundiata Keita. So, we take a look here, as we recall, we're going to be taking advantage this episode of our Sogolon particular ability. Our capital will be okay. We just have to continue on with our attacks and defending ourselves here. So we're going to do an attack here. And what we could actually do is just simply build another archer, take a couple turns, but just having some support here at a pretty low cost will be a good way for us to maintain good values. So that's a good tile right there. That'll be excellent. Next up, we will go over here and place another mine. Since our Holy Site prayers have been completed, we can actually get started on working on a temple. We do want to get some temples up and running because the more of these temples that we do get set up, what's going to happen is that they will open up a lot of, just good variety for options for us. So we could definitely use that. And we will kill that unit off. We're going to start bringing our units over so we can start doing some proper damage. I think it's going to be time that we also consider if he's going to be a pest and really try to do damage against us, what we could actually consider doing is, honestly, if he wants to declare war, what we could do, like he did, is he wants to expand west. Why don't we expand east? I have a theater skirt in the holy site, so let's do a Saguba. Gonna take 2 turns. Plus, by putting that down, it would actually benefit the adjacency yields of these tiles even more. So that's going to take 2 turns. That'll be really solid. And in the process of this, we opened up a couple more slots here. So we have some relic slots that we can place. So that's very good. I'll actually put that over here. That way we can gain some value from it. And then the next thing we are going to do is we are going to actually look for a couple of slots here and a couple of great works of writing. So have a look around, see what we could pick up. There we go. And that'll definitely help us a little bit more. Bring that into Miolo. Because that's a smaller city, that city is going to get some good yield, so got ourselves a couple of traders that we could work. Now what we want to do is have a quick look at what we can improve and what needs improvement more than anything else. And I do want to make sure we have some routes going across here, just so that way these cities, if later on in the game we need to have some decent trade routes, we'll already have some nice trading posts just to make this process a little more efficient. Definitely want to take Kilakislani, so we can get started on building that. That's a pretty small city to be trying to work on it, so honestly we should be able to get more tempo than her.
We are all apprentices in a craft where no one ever becomes a master.
Awesome. All of our mines just got improved. That's really good because technically we do lose a little bit of production. We lose 1 production for mines early on, so getting that a little bit of extra production actually does help us a lot, so we will gladly take that. Awesome. There's another few arrow score since we evangelized our stuff. What I think we could do now is we can take one of his cities and push it back against him, and that'll be a nice way for us to get some progress. That'll be a pretty solid theater skirt. Once we build that particular wonder there, we'll be in a good spot. What we want to do next is we are going to need to continue working on building more of these Sagubas. It's just really a more of a control of our tempo kind of situation. Are some ways we can get some good value extracted on this. So what we want to do is we are going to see here, Victory's Slaver. Boom. We have a Saguba with another market. Tweak that in a few more turns. which is also by us doing that, it's also going to give us an additional little bit of extra population to work off of, which will be good. And then instead of working on this, we'll just simply work on a pretty good campus here. Honestly, we could use a campus right now at this stage of the game, so we will do that. Good. We actually have a lot of culture. It's good because right now we're actually applying a good bit of pressure. We're in the lead now for culture, which is funny. We're actually this early in the game leading it, so. Aha, that's actually good. That's actually losing loyalty. That's really huge. Don't really need the gold, and I can live without the envoy. We'll pass up on that one for now. The next one's probably going to be a little bit better for us, so we'll utilize that. And what we want to do is we are going to position ourselves here to basically just be able to go out and just do as much damage as we can against that city once it gets into a free city. So it's losing loyalty pretty steadily, and it's going to be harder and harder for him to keep it. So that's actually really good for us. So there's not very much else we can do, to be honest. We'll just keep using a good bit of what we have here. Okay, so this is just a very slightly better version of what was there before. That's funny. There we go. And I almost forgot that we actually had the option to do that. Took a second to realize I have all this faith. I'm like, I can buy something. That, you know? Sometimes you remember the important stuff when you need to remember. What we're going to do is we're going to eventually, the next turn here, convert this and start immediately working on building. We're going to do a third charge here just to make sure that we really minimize the amount of population that are on the Catholic religion. And then what we're going to do is, by doing that, just confirm this. We're down to 6 turns on this. We'll build this and then immediately get started on the mausoleum. Once we have a mausoleum, our great engineers are going to be really solid. We're going to have some great engineers that will immediately have good access to some pretty solid benefits that we could use. So that'll be very, very important that we pick that up. So with the position that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and soon to be 5 wonders that we're going to be working on building. And the important thing is that we do not expend all of our charges for these great engineers. I want us to actually hold on to them, just so that way we can actually get the additional charge once we have the mausoleum. And that's a big play for us. Okay, so I'm actually going to be pretty cheeky here with our faith. So we have obviously one more turn until the next era. But what is going to be the case is that we have a couple of settlers we can buy, and we can actually start trying to settle some lands to the west here. We know where all the AI happen to be. They're all on the main island here. So if we're one of the early ones to settle, the reason okay, there we go. So going to the settler card, we can see here that the actual, loyalty bonuses are pretty bad. That's because the capital of Istanbul, right here. So I'm gonna take my chances and just go for it. I'm just gonna go full beans, take those promotions, and really develop this. I do want to get a few campuses before the end of the era, so it is important that we try to prioritize that. Now we can actually get that campus up and running like I wanted. Awesome. Getting that population growth. Just what I was looking for, yeah. We'll do that just because we'll eventually later in the game be getting better value with the tourism output. So we're doing okay there. Tourism wise, we're actually plugging away, so not bad. Eventually in the game, once we have access to, a bit late game, you know, in Atomic Era, but access to rock bands, we're just going to mass produce rock bands, send them right over here, dump them in, and we're probably going to end up winning the game pretty quickly from that. So we're going to give that a shot to see how that goes. Okay, so now that this city, it's interesting. Because the city actually turned over from when I had it, after I destroyed the walls and went against the musketmen and crossbowmen, because it actually went back from me to whatever it is free now, it's interesting. The two units that spawned are actually man-at-arms instead of musketmen. So that's actually kind of nice. It's a bit of a feature of that. It's not going to go to the latest civ. It's going to go to the most recent civ that had ownership of that particular city. So a bit of a nice tidbit of information for anybody that's curious and wanting to use some strategies and such. Could use that to our advantage. There we go. Get a lot of error score out of all that, so 15 away from the next age potential, and then we're going to go for a golden age. So we need 39, so we could definitely make our way to that. That's not going to be too bad. Converting Canada's cities all over to our religion will be a good way for us to get that tempo. Plus, we won't have to worry about more of our cities being converted, and we could utilize that as a means to start converting their cities to our cities. And if we have to go for a war, we can go for a war. But it just gives us some nice options to work with, which I'm, of course, very happy to take. Good. Getting more units ready for promotion. That'll convert in 2 turns anyways, but at least we'll have tempo to just get some free damage output. We'll move those out of the way. By liberating that, we're actually going to be getting. I think we actually just got some. I think we just got some Diplo favor out of that. Hold on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we just did, which was kind of cheeky.
Kilwa is one of them. Having seen a non.
That's a super good wonder for us, though. All right, there we go. 225 culture per turn because we got that. That's going to be really good. And then what we can do is we can take that. Perfect. Good. So this is the perfect opportunity for us to start taking suzerainty of quite a few different city-states, just so that we can get some really good boosts. So the second part of that is if you are the suzerain of 2 or more city-states of that specific type, an additional 15% boost is given to all your cities. I don't know if that continues to stack for every single additional city-state of that type on top of that. So 15%, then another 15%, and then another 15%, or it's just a blanket 15% for 2 or more, period. That part is not very clear, but still very, very good wonder, though. Very, very good wonder. We go. Okay, so we got a couple core here, and a couple more. Just have some decent units. That way, when we're ready to do some damage, we'll actually be able to kind of apply that damage right off the bat, and quite readily as well. Perfect. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have made ourselves a fantastic amount of progress with a lot of this build. I want to thank you guys so much for your support. I know I made a couple dumb mistakes. I'm going to do my best to try to correct that from now on, but that's my bust. I could do a better job, but I'll just have to be careful about that and make improvements from there. Thank you so much for watching, though. This has been a lot of fun. This particular character is busted, though. I mean, legitimately actually broken. These values are just absolutely beautiful. If you enjoyed watching this video, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe as well. Thank you so much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, SpeeDMan out.